Welcome to Ish I Saw on TikTok. In this series, we look at TikToks and some stitched responses where something very prevalent in dating today is discussed. Then finally, I'll provide my commentary at the end of just me being myself, unfiltered and unadulterated. Hi, I'm Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible. I work with successful, savvy, wonderful, professional Black women, single professional Black women who are 35 plus and are seeking just better dating options and have no clue where to start. Check out my links below if you're interested in working with me one-on-one or in a group coach setting. The goal of exploring some of these TikToks is to spark discussion and help you to develop more awareness, including self-awareness, in some of the patterns you've either engaged in or allow in your own dating life. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Men can look real ugly when you're hungry and exhausted and paying all the bills, so totally not worth it. He can't afford you if he needs you to bring 50%. He's not ready to get married. Why are you marrying someone who should not be married? If you are begging a man to hold your hands, to give you a hug, you've lost your power. You need to get that back. You have to cut that out. It confuses people. Okay? It confuses the hell out of people. We'll never beg for attention again. Stop doing it. You have the power in your womb to take a seed and turn it into a human being. All the scientists in the world haven't been able to figure that out yet. Okay, a 16-year-old can do that just with her womb. We haven't gotten to her other parts yet. You are so infinitely powerful. You are so infinitely powerful. Stop forgetting that, okay? Stop forgetting that. How can a woman raise her value again? Just knowing that she's a woman. If God wanted me to be a man, he would have made me a man and he would have given me more testosterone then. But you can prick my blood and you will know that I am a female. I can't do it. No.
I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask in order to figure out if he has a provider mentality. Because if he doesn't, next. So I had a really hard time dating, and contrary to popular belief, I feel like sometimes the more educated and successful you are as a woman, the harder it is. And that was exactly my life. Like, I'm smart, I'm educated, I have a doctorate, working on another, and just made so much money. But for whatever reason, I would go on dates with men and constantly be stuck in the provider role, and they were just taking from me. And I didn't really understand why. So I came up with these 3 questions to kind of be able to weed them out right away, because I did not have time to waste and I was running out of energy. And depending how these men would respond to these comments that I would make, I would be able to tell what their mentality was. So the first one was, I would say, I believe in traditional gender roles. Now, women like to quickly combat that with saying, oh, but if you contribute, I'm down to equally contribute. Do not say that, okay? You don't need to give him a caveat. You're going to lower his expectations and see how he responds to primarily being the provider. Number 2, I would say I don't want my life to be primarily dictated by my career. That means I'm not trying to not see my kids and not see my man. So you're going to have to figure out how to retire me, because I'm not about to be at work and miss my entire life. Number 3, I would say I want a partner who invests in me in every way. This meant I'm not trying to struggle by myself. So you're either going to have to put up or shut up. Seeing how these men would react to these comments would allow me to eliminate men who wanted to be provided for at a faster rate. And that is how I was able to meet my man and finally be in a position where, yes, I'm smart, educated, have my own money, whatever, amazing, but finally has a man who wants to provide for me. I'm going to give you a little pro tip for you to figure out whether or not the man that you're dating is a natural provider or not, okay? Because if we have to teach them that, they can move to the side. And I really hope this doesn't land on any of the men's For You pages, because if they figure out this hack and figure out this is how we can tell whether or not they're providers, like, oh my God. But anyway, the next time that you're on a date with a man, I want you to ask him, what are his love languages? Not in terms of receiving love, but in terms of giving love. Because if acts of service is not his main way of showing love, or at least in his top 2, there is no way that he is in his masculine energy. A man in his masculine energy is someone who is going to naturally be about actions instead of words. So if he's telling you that his love language is words of affirmation or like physical touch, that does nothing for you. You don't need a man who's on your phone telling you you're beautiful and then wants to fucking have sex with you. You need a man who's going to take care of you and is going to be of service to you. You're welcome.
So, how to tell if the man you're on a date with is a man of means, a wealthy man, or at the very least, a man who has a provider mindset? Because we do not want to come off as uncouth or someone who lacks class by just straight out asking, do you have any money? We don't want to do that. So the fastest way to tell is that a masculine man, a man of means, will never care about your career. Now you're going to think, what? Why would I want to show off my accomplishments? Most likely, it will actually turn him off because you're trying to impress him, which is a very masculine thing to do. Or at the very least, he would just ignore it because there's only one thing. There's only one thing masculine men, provider men care about, and that's your femininity and your nurturing abilities. That's it. So if you're the kind of woman like I used to be and you go on dates and all you want to do is talk about all your accomplishments, I have my own car, I have my own job, I have this company, I'm a boss, I'm this, I'm that, you're going to scare him off. It's not going to attract him. In conclusion, a masculine man, a provider man would not care about your career. If a man starts to ask you about your career, what do you bring to the table? How much do you make? How much do they pay you for this? He's in his feminine energy and he's looking for a provider woman, or at very least a woman who goes 50-50. If a man cares about your career, he is not a masculine man. If he doesn't care about your career, he's a masculine man.
What are first signs he's provider? What I should pay attention to? If he offers to take you shopping, if he offers to do something for you financially, if you come up with a fake problem that costs money to solve and he solves it. Okay, so you got to come out. You got to come out with some fake problems to solve, or you got to say, like, oh, I don't have any cute shoes to wear. So I'm going to be wearing my old shoes, and see if he offers to take you by shoes or something. Hint and clue that you need stuff or that he can help you financially, and then when he gets there and he offers, that's how you know. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said he told you that you're mediocre beauty and in fact you're hot. That's because they want to bring you down to their level since you're not in their league. You know what I'm saying? If they make you think you're in their league, they think you'll act like it. So just like, I don't know, we need to go schedule you an appointment at the optometrist because something is wrong with your eyes because I look good. I don't know what you're talking about. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And literally I'm out of your league. So you need to go ahead and get your eyes fixed before you start talking to women. That's exactly what you need to tell them.
Five signs he has a provider mindset.
Girls, you always ask me, Polina, I need a provider man. I'm tired of dating these broke guys who's not ready to invest in me, who's not ready to take care of me. What can I do? And you can actually see if he has provider mindset from the very first date. Number one thing, you see how he treats the bill in the restaurant. If he asks you out, you shouldn't even sense this feeling that you have to reach out to the bill when it comes to the table. No, he will never make you feel this way. He will take care of it right away. And this is very first sign. Second sign, he always tries to help you when you need it. If you told him that, listen, like I have this and that problem, I don't know what to do, he's trying to solve your problem. Because provider man, it means he's masculine, it means he is decision maker, it means he's problem solver. He wants to make some impact on your life and take care of you, even on the small things. Third thing is going to be very helpful for you if you ask him what kind of woman you're looking for, what qualities in women you appreciate the most. And if he's gonna put at the first place, like she's supposed to be independent, she's supposed to have her life together, all of these things,
it means he's not very in provider mindset. Because if man in provider mindset, of course he cares about you doing good in life, but it's not supposed to be priority for him. For him, he's gonna tell these qualities like feminine. She's supposed to be feminine, caring, loving, nurturing. She's supposed to be loyal. If she says you these things, it means it's the most important thing for masculine man. It means him in his provider mindset. Fourth thing, he is bringing you little presents and small gestures just to see the smile on your face. Of course, if you just started to date, he's not supposed to pay your rent and bring you expensive gifts. No, because provider men, they also value their own resources. They're gonna invest in you according to your value in their life. If they just met you, you don't have any value for them yet because they don't know how it's gonna be with you. But still, they trying to make you happy, but bringing you some bouquet of flowers or some chocolates. And last but not least, you feel his initiative and you feel that he is putting effort to get to know you, and he is investing his time and other resources in you. Because provider men, they're very masculine, they're very initiative. If you feel that he's sitting there and waiting initiative from you and he wants you to plan everything and do everything, he's probably not provider. And I want you to know your worth. I want you to know what you deserve and don't settle for less. If you want to attract this kind of man in your life, provider, masculine man who's gonna take care of you, who's gonna invest in you and give you a lot of attention, gifts, flowers, you're supposed to become high value woman. How to become this woman, I teach you on my workshop Dream Woman. Check it out on top of my page. And I'm sure it will help you to attract this kind of man into your life.
Hello, my babies. I was just thinking while I was working, right? One thing I will never, ever settle for is a man that does not provide and take care of me. Okay, not doing it. No. If I'm dating you, you have to have a provider mentality. You have to. You have to. If I ask you to get my nails done, there should be money sent. If I ask you to get my hair done, there should be money sent. I'm not going to date you if you do not have a provider mindset and you aren't able, you don't even have to make a lot of money. Just the simple fact that, like, if I need something, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no question. I'm not settling for anything less than that, okay? And none of you should at all. A man should want to provide for you. A man that does not want to provide for you is not a man. He's not. If I'm going to struggle, if I'm struggling with a man, that's not my fucking man, period. I should not be struggling in being in a relationship. Listen, I can sit here, as much as I don't like my baby daddy, I can call him right now and ask him for $500. He's going to send it. Because he has that mindset. He understands. You take care of the women that are in your life. Another thing, I want y'all to understand something. The way that the universe works, whenever a man provides for a woman or provides for multiple women, that in turn makes that man richer. Why do you think all these rich men just keep getting richer and richer? Because they are pouring into the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is what makes the world go round. Okay? You gotta understand that, and you gotta know your fucking worth, bro. I was dating a man, I was having car issues. That motherfucker didn't have the provider mindset to where he's like, what can I help you with? And it was my fault because I should have asked for help, but I didn't. I assumed, like, I'm your girlfriend, he's going to offer to help. Never offered to help, and that's why he's not my man now. Do not settle for someone that does not have a provider mentality, because you will pour and pour and pour and you will get nothing in return. You are worth more than that. Okay? All right? Love ya.
It does not matter if your man is making $50,000 a year or $5 million a year. If he does not have that provider mindset or mentality, how is he going to be able to provide for you and for the life that you want to build together? And I think a lot of times people always think that being a provider means, you know, buying you the really luxury things in life, the materialistic things, but you literally can go with what you have. Do with what you have. If you are making $50,000 a year, of course you're not going to be able to afford to buy your girl an Hermes bag, but can you buy her some flowers from Trader Joe's that is literally $10 and can brighten her day? Absolutely yes. People always think that, you know, us women, we are gold diggers and la la, but it's like, you have no gold to dig. So how are you telling us that we are gold diggers when you have no gold to dig? And the thing is that, like, this generation is so 50-50. If I wanted a roommate, I would go get myself a roommate. I want a man that is going to be able to provide for me and for the life that we build together. Because high quality men know that investing in the right type of woman will improve their quality of life, help boost everything that they do financially, will help keep the household down, and make their life that much easier and that much better. There are so many ways to contribute to being a provider. I'm talking about getting your girls $10 flowers from Trader Joe's. I'm talking about having a little wine and cheese night. Like, shit does not have to be expensive. And I always say, take it back to the animal kingdom. Like, if a man was not a provider for his family, do you know what happens to him? He literally gets eaten alive. And that's exactly what happens in today's society too. So don't settle for less, bestie. And remember that if you are broke, the first thing that you should be focusing on is getting your money up. You should not be focusing on dating. You should not be focusing on this or that. Focus on improving your quality of life first.
Ladies, if you don't listen to anything else I say, please listen to this. Marry the man that has a provider mentality. Even if you're not looking for a man to provide for you, the fact that that is who he is at his core, that's going to be the only thing that's guaranteed to last the entire relationship. Because that's who he is, his actions, his choices are always going to align with that. It's always going to come from that place. Because you might not need him right now, but when you do, you're going to want him to have the mentality of providing for you. Because if that is truly his belief system, is not going anywhere. It's not contingent upon how much money he has or what he has to give to you emotionally. Neglecting you will never be an option. For example, if you need emotional support, it's not going to be contingent upon him having the best day ever to come home and listen to how your day went. And even if it is financial, if it's his last $10, you can have it. A man can have $1 million. That don't mean he's going to give it to you. If it's not up here or in here, it's not going to benefit you. He has to truly believe that that is his role in your life, whether you need him to do it in the moment or not. Don't just go with the man that's willing to give you the most. Is this who he truly is, or does it rely on something else? Because a lot of men nowadays have never seen a true provider. They don't know what that looks like, and they don't even understand the concept.
No matter how independent a woman is, when she is in the presence of a real man, she can relax and she will not be independent. She will not treat that man like she do not need him, because he won't allow her to. So for the men out there saying, oh, if you want to be independent, then why you need me? You act like you don't need me. No, I don't act like I don't need you. You just haven't created a force to be needed. You have not put yourself in such a position to where I feel like it's safe for me to even depend on you. Real men don't even do that shit. Real men really just know how to stand in the gap. They know you're so independent to the point where you will figure it out by yourself, but they make sure you don't have to. That's how they become valuable. They be like, oh, I took care of this for you. Oh, I know this was stressing you out, so here's what I did. They don't even be asking no questions. All they be doing is taking notes and paying the fuck attention. And here you are saying, well, you never come to me and ask me for nothing. I shouldn't have to. If you know that I'm an independent woman, why do you think that I got to ask you for every little bitty thing? But real men know that, look, I'm going to stand in the gap for her. She could be able to relax in her feminine energy. She can just come into the room and know that everything is taken care of. She can make one less decision when I'm right here in the room. Those are the men that are needed. Because we don't just need men occupying space. We need men being men.
Being a natural provider isn't about how much money a man makes, but it's more about the energy that he brings. So these are some ways I feel like you can tell if someone has a provider mindset. When he makes plans with you in advance and he tells you what, when, and where. It's the kind of guy who's always just trying to make your life easier. Making sure you're not too cold or too hot, opening doors, making sure you're not hungry or thirsty. And this kind of man isn't entertaining multiple women because he knows what he's looking for and it's an investment. He's not interested in feeding his ego. He only wants a high quality woman who will add to his life. I would pick someone with that mentality over someone who has tons of money any day.
Ladies, this is why you need to settle down with provider type men. And I don't just mean men that are wealthy or have money or anything like that. I mean men that have the mindset, the mentality of being a provider for their family. And this is especially if you are planning on becoming a mother or having a family at any time with this person. Because the thing is, the second you guys decide that you're going to have a baby, it's not 50-50 anymore. And I'll do a whole separate video on that, explaining why I say that. And I know it's all over the internet, and you know, we're kind of raised these days to want to be like these strong, financially independent women. I don't want to rely on no man. I love 50-50. 50-50 relationships are amazing because we're both providing, we're both putting in together. That's cool. And I'm not saying not to be financially savvy, stable, you know, have security whatsoever. I 100% believe that you should. But I was reading this thread yesterday and I can't get it out of my mind. And I went to my hubby because I was like, am I being like crazy? Like, is this strange to you? And he was gobsmacked, but not like surprised either. So a little bit of context. This lady said I can't remember, she had 1 or 2 kids already. She was pregnant with another one on the way. Her and her hubby do 50-50 everything bills-wise, right? Split it down the middle, 50-50. He earns a substantial amount more than she does, and he's coming to money. He got a payout or something like that, and it was a large sum of money, like life-altering for most people on this planet type money. Wouldn't have to work for like a year or two for most people, you know. But instead of thinking, hey, I can use this money to support my family, to get us ahead, to stop my wife from having to work while she's pregnant or whatever, he spent the entire amount in a year on his car. Now she's still working and she's thinking, how am I going to pay my 50% of the bills once this baby comes or I go on maternity leave? A man with a provider mindset mentality would never ever put his wife in that position where she's stressing about how she's going to make the family work, how she's going to pay her half of the bills while he's blowing thousands, tens of thousands, more than that, on a car. I mean, yes, people should have hobbies, absolutely, but come on now. And like a provider man, even if you did 50-50 when you weren't pregnant or had kids, once that happened, they would be like, okay, I understand that you're going to provide this to the family. I'm going to step up and I'm going to provide this for the family and make it work that way.
Giving money is not providing. Giving money is not providing. Let me repeat that. If I hand you $20, I'm not a provider. If I say, give me all your bills, let me take care of those. And do you need any money for anything else? That's a provider. Y'all have to understand what provider means. It doesn't mean somebody giving you a little change here and there. It means they taking care of your needs and your wants. If you can only find someone to take care of your needs, then you got to also find someone to take care of their wants. Unless you can find one that can do both. So if you know your value as a woman and you only date providers, there is no transaction. That's just your basic standards. I do not deal with men who cannot provide. Therefore, there is no transaction. That's just who I am and what I expect. And if you can't deal with it, step. Let someone else handle it.
If I need to struggle, I can do that on my own. Thank you. I don't need a man to struggle with. That makes no sense. Some women, you can take them to dinner and pay for their dinner and they'll sleep with you. Some women, you can take them to dinner and they'll pay half for themselves and then they'll sleep with you. Some women, you can put them off the market by being their boyfriend for 3 years and they'll waste all their time and build you up and the hopes that you will propose, that's their price. My price was a ring, all my expenses paid, and a wedding date. You get what you accept. My man is not, what's my man? Are you married to him? We don't call people men that aren't our husbands. We have so much power and yet we give away our power by blaming him, by saying he needs to change. He probably does, but he's not going to change until you change. He is simply responding to your energy. I remember having relatives come from Pakistan to the US and be really confused. They would ask, why are women so insecure here? How come women chase men here? Like, they were literally legit confused out of their minds. They couldn't understand why the women here are so insecure, don't know their worthiness, chase men, date men, and call them all kinds of titles. Like, they didn't understand because it's so unusual in other parts of the world.
Ladies, men love to give you their money. Men love to, if a man don't love to give you his money, thank you. If a man don't love to give you no money, he don't like you. Men love to give money. Like, you know how we love to give love? Men love to give money. So if you want to know if a guy like you, if he ain't giving you no money, he don't like you. Go get you another one. Men love to give money. Don't let these men on social media who ain't got enough money to give make you feel bad. Men love to give money. Men love to invest. Men love to do what they can. And it ain't even about being a rich man. Like, a man who want his shit want to see you well off. They love to give money. Don't fall for it.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. So this time I was looking specifically for TikToks where women were talking about dealing with men with provider mindsets. And of course, the take is a little different because here's the truth of the matter. And I think these were hit in some really great order, that women who are successful often struggle with dating when they have their own, when they're educated, when they can put themselves and keep themselves in a certain standard of living. You know, and men who lack a provider mentality and expect women to contribute 50% financially and 100% otherwise, meaning all domestic labor, all mental load, etc., is very commonplace today. I know I have experienced this quite a bit. I know many of the clients I've worked with have experienced this quite a bit. It's a sad but very true fact of what's going on today. You know, women lose their power. I really like the one creator who emphasized this, when they are begging for attention from men. It's not about trying to get something from a person who is not openly, freely offering it. It's about very much understanding who you're dealing with and choose to let someone have access to you or not. And then there's a difficulty with finding men with this provider mindset. I would have to honestly admit, from my personal experience, it has a lot to do with class in terms of where you're meeting these men at, how they were reared, how they were raised, etc. And it is very challenging, I could admit, especially in this podcast, social media world we live in today, not to become cynical, sad, resentful, etc. But you never want to do that. You want to always keep your vision of what you want very clear and be able to be a complement to that. If you aren't 100% where you want to be, this is the time to work on it. That's just a segue. But the reality is there are men out here with provider mindsets. It's just a matter of locating and engaging with those particular types of men who can afford to keep you in a certain lifestyle. Now, as I said, this isn't about you being zero and him being hero. This is all about you being able to be a complement to him and him being able to be a complement to you. So, you know, the unspoken thing is, girl, you got to get yourself to that level first in all aspects if you want a partner who is at that level or above that level in all aspects. So I really liked these TikToks and women's perspective on it, because finding a man with a provider mindset is a lot harder than I believe a lot of men think it is. And then there are a lot of men who think they have provider mindsets, but they actually don't. They're cosplaying a character. They're cosplaying an ideal of themselves that they have not yet reached. We didn't get too much into it in the TikTok clips that were seen, but I definitely saw that as I was doing my research and pulling things down for this video. So let me know your thoughts below on this, because I'm curious to see if the ladies that this video reaches has the same, you know, interaction or result. Thank you for joining me today for this episode of Ish I Saw on TikTok, Men with Provider Mindsets Part 2. Watch this video again and take some notes, reflect on your current and former romantic situations with men, take your time with this one, and really go through what this means to you. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, check out the links below. Also, check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, next season publishing soon on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, signing off.